go!
What is good with you? It is your boy Travis Kinley coming back to you with another one. It is mighty chilly out here. Actually, it's not so bad now, but it was this morning. Woke up this morning, it was like 38 degrees. So watch out now, watch out now. I'm about to get my pre-trip done, but before I do it, I really want to tell y'all about something a friend of mine told me about yesterday. And I knew about the concept already, but I really appreciated the way he worded it. I appreciated this new phrase I learned yesterday too. So we were talking about, if you're not aware, a lot of people will, incorporate their business, meaning they'll form an LLC, they'll form an S-Corp, they'll form S-Corporation, Corp. They'll form an S-Corp, just there are various ways. I mean, those are the two most common. While I can't think of the other common two, there's another two that are common, but nevertheless, they'll do that, and you'll see the business names. Like mine is Kinley LLC. I'm standing in front of Harvin Trucking LLC, and so on and so on. If you're not aware, people do this because it separates your personal life from your business life. What I mean by that is, it separates your personal finances and assets. Give me a sec, this truck going by. It separates your personal finances and assets from your business finances and assets. And it, in many ways, a lot of people do it to protect. I don't know if y'all saw me dodge that bee, but that jump was smooth for TV, okay? In many ways, it protects your personal finances, assets, and etc. in the event of something happening, in which case someone sues you, right? Super popular idea that people talk about. Well, piece of my mustache keep going in my mouth. Well, my good friend who works as, officially he works as like a financer, he works for a lending company, but he just offers kind of advice, and we just have money talks. He told me in his industry, they call this piercing the corporate veil. I thought that was so cool the way he put that. The way they put that in their industry. Piercing the corporate veil. Let me explain. So you create an LLC, and he says what usually follows for a lot of people, he advises for them to create business accounts with the bank, business checking, business savings. I've discussed this on my channel before. And he says you should create those business checking and business savings because it leaves a very clear paper trail for your business. And the idea is that when you spend money on your business, it is coming out of an entirely different account, and it is coming with an entirely different paper trail. And because you have separate paper trails for your business and your personal accounts, everyone is very clearly able to see the evidence that your business life is separate from your personal life. So in the event if you were to get sued or something of that nature, then when they take you to court, you're able to say, well, no, I have this in my business account, and Kinley LLC is involved in this case, but not Travis Kinley and his family. They're not involved in this. This is a business dispute. And they're not able to touch your personal life because indeed it was Kinley LLC that got in that accident. However, he said he's seen it time and time again where people will try to make that argument to separate their personal lives. However, instead of being able to uphold that argument, the opposing lawyer will say, well, yeah, he says that they're separate. He says, Travis Kinley says Kinley LLC is separate from his personal life. However, when you examine his business life, you see he went to Popeye's Chicken with his business card. He went to JCPenney with his business card. He buys, all sorts of stuff. He went to Disneyland with his business card, etc., and so on. He said when you use your business accounts for personal reasons, it is called piercing the corporate veil. There was a veil that separated your business from your personal life, and what essentially happened on your very first swipe, he said, you pierced the corporate veil. He likened it to an extension cord in which the outer insulate, that rubber, the surrounding the shell of the extension cord has been broken, and now you are exposed. I was like, wow, that's a tight way to put that, man. He said he advises people who have pierced the corporate veil in the past to shut those accounts down entirely and just open brand new business accounts. He said, lawyers, if you ever get in trouble, lawyers will dig and dig and dig and search for anything they can show that you pierced the corporate veil, and indeed his business life is not separate from his personal life. And so in this lawsuit, we can go after everything. And he said he's seen it so many times. They'll go after your house, and by the time you sell your house, you got no equity left because you had to pay that person off that you got in an accident with, and you're left with nothing. And he says nobody's going to sell you a house after you have that on your record. Nobody. I was like, wow. It's big. Piercing the corporate veil. And as soon as he said that to me, I was like, man, I love that phrase. I've got to tell my channel about it. So, as I've advised in the past, I advise business accounts. I use a business checking and savings account. I use the savings account for my taxes and the business for my business savings, and I don't have an operating account, fund. Right? I do, but I don't. What I mean by that is if I need something, it comes out of my business checking, but I don't have an operating account in which I intend on spending X amount of dollars, or when I want to buy something like, a new CB radio, I just don't move like that, if you will. I really don't spend much money. I don't buy tricks and toys and stuff like that. So, I don't consider it an operating fund, even though it is an operating fund, and I understand it's an operating fund, but I don't call it that. So I use my business checking for my savings, and I use my business savings for my taxes. When I pay taxes, anything that's left over gets moved to business checking. One day I will have an entirely separate account for business savings, indeed, and an entirely separate account for my operating fund. But not right now. Nevertheless, I do advise you to open business accounts and indeed never pierce the corporate veil like my friend told me about. Never pierce the corporate veil. And he said, if you've already done it once, go ahead and shut those accounts down. He said just once is all it takes. He said all the lawyer needs is just something to dig up and put in court. And he says they will dig when it's time. Get in an accident, they're going to dig when it's time. All right, don't pierce the corporate veil. Get you some business accounts and pay yourself as an employee. I'm going to get this pre-trip done approximately an hour ahead of schedule, but I'm going to pull up on them. I've tried to call many times to see if they would take me early. It is a really cool local beer place, so a lot of times they unload you early. I'm at this country market, and the food smelled good, but when I went in to use the restroom, it was dudes lined up at the bathroom taking a good minute before they would come back out. And I noticed Everybody that came back out went to sit back down at the restaurant. And I was like, bro, I'm not eating in there. Y'all ain't finna bust my stomach up over no food. Then I got to pay for it? Nah, fam. So I'm about to get this pre-trip done and we're gonna roll out. All right, you already know what the motto is. Work hard, play hard, sleep hard. Don't forget, it's not about what you believe. It's all about why you believe it. Live free. Let's go!